Yo, what's going on, everybody? So this is one of my first Sunday Q&A sessions that I've decided to do. I'm just going to chill for a bit while I wait for people to come in because I haven't got anyone in the stream just yet, which is a little peculiar. Maybe it's an app glitch. Hey, what's going on, everybody? We've got Stephanie, Summer, Mavis Hill, Black Phillip, Scotland Flower, and Ezra, Marcus, Conservative 16. Guys, what I'm doing today, read normie get out. I'm literally just doing a little chill session with you guys. I know normally I have a topic, but you know, I thought it'd be a really good opportunity for you guys to bring up topics. Not that I have I have no shortage of them, believe you me. But I just think it'd be really nice in a live chat kind of setting to get some ideas, get some thoughts, you know, get you guys to throw out the ideas at me about what you'd like me to chat about and just have a little banter about and give my thoughts on. So that's what's happening today. And I'm a little tired. I've been working so hard the last couple of weeks, I can't even begin to tell you. I actually worked at the Sydney Mardi Gras after party last night. Man, I saw a lot of titties there. All right, we've got Ezra Pound. So there's two things, right? Meetup. So I am going to be this week putting up details on my website about when the next meetup will be. And my beard is, it was recently shaved due to some skin irritation, but it's growing back, There were a lot of lesbians, and a lot of hot bi chicks at the Mardi Gras last night. But you know, I'm working security, I have got a duty of care, I have a position of responsibility that I have to uphold, so I behaved myself, but I definitely had a lot of girls flirting with me at the bar. That was pretty cool. Yahoo says, what are your thoughts on the whole Yogi Obes issue? It's actually a really interesting question. And Yahoo, I came across Yogi a while ago, and I subscribed to him, and I like a lot of his stuff, and he's got a lot of good points. You know, everyone's got their different angles. I don't know exactly what's been going on. I believe he called Undead Chronic out for something. Personally, I'm not about calling. I'm not a fan of calling people out on YouTube, particularly other content creators. I know Undead, obviously, from what I can see in my feed, and I'm a big fan of Undead as well. Actually, I'd even go so far as to call myself a friend of his, and we chat relatively regularly. And you know, he's amassed a massive following because of the epic roasts that he does. And I'd imagine that the roast on Yogi was no different, although I haven't seen it. Look, at the end of the day, I don't get involved in this stuff. I didn't get involved in. There's a lot of stuff I haven't got involved in. I mean, I've been called out a few times for stuff, but you know, I'm congruent. I stick with my purpose. And Shane the mechanic just dropped $5, man. Said, yo, keep for the meetup. Thank you for that, Shane. I'm looking forward to posting details of that on my website, and I'll be sharing that with you guys. I'm also going to be starting up a mailing list on my website, so for updates on events or things that are going to be coming up that you guys might want to find out about, I will be sending those things out to your email address with things like that. And yeah, look, I've been looking at I saw a couple of Yogi's responses just briefly to everything that's been going on with the whole MGTOW versus MISTOW, and I think it's a very interesting differentiation. Although I don't think Yogi quite has been through what a lot of guys who have chosen to go their own way, even though they're perfectly capable of getting girlfriends and whatnot. I don't know. I don't know. Look, I'm not going to make personal calls on Yogi, and I'm also not going to get involved in the whole saga. Got a lot of respect for both Yogi and Undead. There's obviously information that I'm not privy to or that I haven't seen that may sway those decisions, but prior to this whole saga blowing up, I've seen whiffs of in my feed. I guess that was my position prior to this blow up, so I'm not going to comment any further on that. But yeah, I guess time will tell, and I'll go and check out what's been going on to see how that all ended. What else we got here? Mad Migtar says, personally, I think Yogi's sold out. Look, yeah, some people do sell out of different things. Everyone's got their price, I think, at the end of the day. Yogi is ex-PUA. I even saw him do a video a while ago saying why I went from PUA to MGTOW, and that was actually a really interesting video. Look, I'm gonna leave that particular topic at that. I just don't want to. Sorry, I'm just adjusting this here. I just don't want to get too far into that. I don't want to throw myself in the middle of conflict that I don't need to be in the middle of, I guess is the end thing. And I saw Jeff says MRA sued and won a discrimination case regarding the military draft in the US. Won't be long before women have to sign the draft to get their basic rights. That's right, absolutely. MRAs did win that. And also in Colorado, some MRAs just won a landmark case to have child support cap reduced from 40% to 20%. And apparently, and I'd have to look up the studies on this, but at face value, and I believe this based on my logical understanding of human psychology and, you know, financial incentive, but what I've been told is that once child support dips below 19%, it essentially removes the incentive for alienation, resulting in much better shared parenting outcomes, resulting in much better outcomes from the children. And from everything I've read so far, the shared parenting outcomes where there's not, I guess, fighting back and forward, and where the father gets relatively similar custody times, like maybe about 50% or so, I'm led to believe that the end outcomes, particularly for young boys, are just as good if they were in a family unit with both the mother and father living in the same home. So that's a positive thing. In terms of the US military case, basically it was found to be unconstitutional that men were required to register for the draft. And see, like, yeah, you might not get drafted. There might not be a situation where you have to go into war. But if you do, then that's it, right? And I've seen some pieces written by feminists saying, oh, well, you know, I believe that feminism is about choice. And because, I mean, the long and the short of it was, well, because I'm a feminist, I want to have the choice to do whatever I want and say no to whatever I want. And I don't want to have to go into the military, and I don't want to be drafted, and I don't want to have the responsibilities associated with the draft, including updating your address if you move, and including numerous other things for which there are financial and legal penalties for men if they don't do it, right? So she said, well, you know, I believe in equality, but we just shouldn't have the draft at all. It's like, well, shouldn't you be making that argument prior to this finding that it's unconstitutional to draft men and not women? Hypocrisy of feminism, eh? Hypocrisy of feminism. I also saw that video where a woman smeared menstrual blood on her face. I'm definitely going to be doing a video on that, because I have some very strong thoughts on that. That bitch, in my personal opinion, is fucking mental. Alright, what do we got here? When am I going to live stream with Miggy? Placebo effect. I will message him after this and ask when he's free to do that. So looking forward to that. Caught up with Miggy the other weekend. My phone holder broke at the same time. I'm literally using a DJI Osmo mobile at the moment. So if you can see here, I'm literally like a handheld selfie. So yeah, it's not ideal. Being able to use both hands for expression and have my phone holder up there where it should be is much better, but I still have to buy a new one. And I've been working security shifts and all sorts of stuff. It's kind of hard to get into a shop and find something decent, let alone find the time to buy something to begin with. And another female teacher has been jailed in Texas for rooting a 13-year-old on one occasion in front of classmates. She's 27 and married. I've actually noticed there's been a few instances recently in the mainstream media where they've actually called out older female teachers having sex with young students rape. That's a very, very, very good progression, in my personal opinion, because we know what the media is like, and for too long they've been dodging and weaving and saying, oh, female teacher had sex with a student. Female teacher is alleged to have had sexual relations with a student. But male teacher raped a female student. Massive double standard, in my opinion. Right? No teachers should be having sex with any children, in my opinion, regardless of, you know, like, okay. When I was a kid and I was at school, I wanted to bang a couple of my teachers. Like, I think at one stage I almost beat off like under the table in class. Like, obviously, you know, it's fuck. Like, I was 14, whatever. You know, my hormones were flying off the handle. I never had a girlfriend, so it was what it was. But I mean, like, it's like I was out of control, man. If they had literally bent over in front of me, I would have pulled the pants down and stuck that shit in, and I would have busted my nut in about 3 seconds flat. But what would have been the outcome long term for me, mentally and emotionally, if I'd started to get into relationships with women in positions of authority over me, like teachers and whatnot? Because obviously they don't want to get found out, so they're going to use their position to hold that over me to avoid accountability, because we know that women who will be irresponsible in this way, and I'm not saying all women, I'm saying that women who will be irresponsible in this kind of way, the kind of women that will have sex with their students, will not want to take accountability for it. So yeah. And Conservatarian 16 says, did you see the next Gillette ad? They did a total flip, and this time was about a white man in the military. I guess they're starting to feel the damage from their other ad. Yeah, and interestingly, they disabled the comments. They also disabled the like and dislike numbers, so nobody can see what's going on, what the real response is. And I gotta say, if they'd put out that ad first, if they'd put out that ad instead of putting out that ad made by that feminazi cunt that made the original Gillette ad that caused the furor, I would have gone out and bought a new pack of Gillette razors. But people don't forget. They've done their damage. And maybe this will be a lesson to not just them, but other companies, that you don't hire feminists to man bash in your campaigns. You don't hire feminists to make up bullshit toxic masculinity crap, right? As an ad campaign. Come on. You're insulting your entire base. You're insulting their intelligence. You're insulting their human decency. Gillette, you done fucked up. What else we got over here? Stephanie Summers says, when the children's needs are put first, that's good parenting. 100%. 100%. What else have we got here? If only feminists knew that feminism was created by men so that women would be taxed once they enter the workforce. Well, don't let them know that, because A, they're not going to believe it. They're going to be like, oh, well, I'm a strong, independent woman. I'm working, and so I'm glad I'm getting taxed, because that means that I'm making money. I'm making bank. You know what I mean? But then, if we tell them that it was white men that suckered them in, they're going to feel so stupid that they're gonna say, oh, well, that was the patriarchy making us do it, and we're just gonna encourage them on that shit. And that whole patriarchy argument, ridiculous. Ridiculous. So stupid. Ezra says, live stream with Chronic. That is something I'm trying to line up, and hopefully it will organize that very soon. Also, Miggy and Sydney live stream. Yep, so one with Chronic, one with Miggy, maybe even one with all three of us. It's not gay if it's in a three-way. That's not saying that I would have a three-way with them. I'm just making reference to the Lonely Island song, The Golden Rule, if you guys have ever heard it. Obviously that's with reference to there being a girl in the mix as well. Feminism equals rights with responsibility. That's exactly right, Christopher Voss. So guys, throw some more thought-provoking questions at me. This is a live stream. This is a Q&A for you guys. This is a Sunday session for you to ask me questions and have me respond in real time. And I will, Shane's already given me a super chat, so any of you who want to have it pop up orange on the screen so that I can see more importantly the question, Put at Sydney space MGTOW before your question. If you really want to get in, even just from $1 up, I will prioritize super chat questions, just because fair's fair. If any of you really want to get your question in. Brian Barney said, I did bang a few of my teachers. More power to you, man. Maybe Sydney, I recommend Aussie men pay attention to Australian feminists trying to import crazy laws from overseas. I totally agree. There's some fucked up laws they're bringing in. Look, we always copy the US. We always copy the US. It's the most stupid thing. What are we going to do? Have Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez 2.0 next? Like, come the fuck on. You know, that's just a really bad idea. And Conservatarian 16 says, I think Gillette are just pulling back to get better ratings. I honestly think they're just dialing back to try and do the brainwashing of the next generation. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Would not be surprised at all. Matthew Rhodes says, Sydney, what do you think about the Pizza Hut commercial with the two crazy thoughts gawking the cheesy crust like it's a man's resources? I gotta say, I haven't seen it, but I think I might have to go check that out after this stream. Sounds like a kind of cool video. And Matt Allen says, afternoon Sydney from the Gold Coast. Good afternoon to you too, Matt. Mad MGTOW says, teachers should be under strict rules in regards to interacting with students after hours. Look, I can't disagree with that. I can't disagree with that. You know, like male or female student teachers, whatever, they shouldn't be interacting with their students after hours, especially when that interaction involves the student's penis in their vagina. Did I see the new feminist Nike ad? Oh God, fucking Nike. When will they learn? When will they learn? Ralph said Gillette's throwing an ad in every few minutes now, even in TV. Yeah, they're trying to get back in favor. Trying to get back in favor. I'm not going back. Yahoo says, thank you for the highlighting, Yahoo. I made a comment a couple of days ago where a mother did something that caused her child to starve. I was hoping you do a story time video on that. Yahoo, can you send me an email with that? I'm sorry, I did miss the comment. I apologize. I get so many comments, I just can't keep up with them. If you've emailed it to me, I will find that, and I will put that in line to be done. What else have we got? Sydney, can we unite MGTOW and MRAs in Australia? We can sit on our ass. We've got to fight back crazy laws from passing. I don't know that that's going to happen because I don't know. It's a tough one with the MGTOW and MRAs. It's tough because yeah, like I don't know if that's going to happen. Man, look, hopefully it will. Hopefully it will. I think it'd be great if we see everyone come together for a common cause. I'm sorry I keep doing this, it's just a bit itchy. It'd be really nice to see everyone come together for a common cause, but you know, people are busy, people are working. I think that we're starting to see the tide turn, and the more guys push back on it, the better. House of Invertebrates says, your thoughts on the Islam, on Muslims trying to come to America and the UK? I'm going to assume you mean Islamists by this. My thoughts are that I hope the UK and the America respects the sovereignty of their borders and says no. No is the most important word in the Australian dictionary. And I have nothing against Muslims, but radical Islamists I have a problem with because their fundamental beliefs are culturally incompatible with the values of America and the UK. It's like, well, it's like they've got many. I mean, the values are going out with all these SJW fuckers, but you know, we've still got our own sovereignty, and that's something. So it's a really interesting discussion to be had. And A Scotland Flower said, did you see Trump forcing unis to support free speech? As a matter of fact, I actually did see that, and I think it's amazing. I think that he's doing a great job winding back some bullshit legislation, including the legislation around domestic violence as well. So violence, the definition of the word violence is physical force used against somebody against their will. That's to paraphrase the definition of violence. So not giving someone money is not violence. Raising your voice at someone is not violence. Making someone feel bad or feel upset is not violence. Right? So domestic violence under the Violence Against Women Act now means physical force against someone against their will in a domestic setting. That's what domestic violence is. That's what it's always been. That's what it always will be. And God thank Trump for redefining it to make it exactly what it is. Because feminists have been using the whole domestic violence. He upset me. He didn't give me $1,200 for a pair of fucking earrings instead of paying the mortgage. Go fuck yourselves. There was on the dude in a dress at the Oscars. Look, I'm okay with someone wearing a dress if that's what they want to do. If that's their thing, if they like wearing dresses, fucking let them do it. But he openly said it was a political statement, and that's what I'm against. Sydney, what do you think about women demanding sports leagues and finances for it, but then not turning up to the games themselves, says Albert. Yeah, exactly. The ultimate hypocrisy. Oh, you have to pay women more, but we're not going to go and watch the game because we prefer watching those sexy buff guys, you know, those masculine guys that we advocate against, but we still want to bang. Ridiculous. Total hypocrisy. I have not seen, Ezra, I've not seen a live stream with Chronic and Georgia Free. I may have to check that out. Flick me an email on that one, dude. I may even do a response to it, or at least give my thoughts on it. Where are we here? Sydney, how do I feel about the Alex ban? I don't know what you mean by Alex specifically. Could you clarify for me? Black Phillip says, I told my girl she's the 4th most important thing in her life. Mavis Hill is part of an Indian MRA group. We stopped Indian feminists bringing insane dowry law to Australia and federal government. Most misused law. Good. And Deuterium X says, Sydney, how old are you? What do you think about the youngest MGTOWs in late 10s or early 20s who don't have enough experience with women and they don't yet see with their own eyes the natural feminine? Look, I really think that it's up to us older guys to bring these red pills, bring this knowledge so that they can start to understand, and they're going to have to also go through their own experiences, see their own friends get screwed over. They should just keep following their own path, build themselves up, and from there things will do well. Mr. T says, anyone notice Jordan Peterson was treated with great caution by the media in his latest tour? Yes, I did notice that, actually. They were very, very careful. No. Name withheld says, hey Sydney, what celebrity would you bone even if she told you she was a high-ranking feminist? Oh fuck, what man, what? I'm a man of my word, you know. You flick me a super chat, I appreciate that, so I'm going to prioritize this question. But you really put me into a corner here, man. You really put me into a corner. Man, who would I cream pie? Fuck. Oh man, oh man, I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. I'm gonna think about that during this stream, and I'm gonna get back to you because I'm so turned off all these Hollywood fucking femtards. It's just incredible. All right. Brian says, Sydney, you rock, bro. Hello from Iowa. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate that. My thoughts. House of Invertebrates. Yeah, I already answered the question about thought about the Islamists trying to come back to their colonies in the UK. And to those of you asking what my email is, it's sydneymigtow@gmail.com. And if you're putting the @ symbol and Sydney MGTOW after it to bring up the orange attention bit on my screen, you need to put a space between Sydney and MGTOW for it to pop up. I noticed Mavis Hill used that, but I did already answer Mavis's question. What else have we got here? May election coming up. Surely we can get MRA issues on the table. I can see that there are a couple of parties that are actually starting to bring it to the fore. And there's a lot of... And look, we know that Bredefault's law says that I mean, women aren't going to push for something unless it benefits them. We men aren't going to push for anything unless it benefits us somehow, whether it's in terms of the way that it makes us feel or in terms of it actually benefits us tangibly. But there are a lot of women that are starting to advocate genuinely for men's rights. And yeah, I know. Look, they're advocating for it because it's affected someone they love. I get it, right? But what other way are we going to get them to advocate? You know, in respect to the people who do advocate for the people they love. Because if you can't advocate for the people you love, what kind of a person are you? So I respect that they're doing that, you know? And House of Invertebrate says, sorry, I meant the Brides of ISIS. Yeah, fuck the Brides of ISIS, man. If they go over to join ISIS and become an ISIS bride, stay. Go away. We don't need you. Fuck off. That's my thoughts on that. Smash that thumbs up as well if you haven't already, guys. We've got 84 of you in the box and 28 thumbs up. Oh, Christopher Brown says, Sydney, are you excited for Captain Marvel opening weekend? I'm seeing this feminist crap all over buses. It's like, I get it. Women are like, oh, finally women are being represented. It's like, yeah, but Captain Marvel is not a chick. It's like, you can't just remake Ghostbusters with women and expect it to smash box office records because the people starring in the new remake have vaginas. You can't just go, oh, Oceans 11, Oceans 12, and Oceans 13 were fucking amazing movies with an all-star cast. So let's remake it, call it Oceans 8, put a bunch of people that have vaginas as the actors, and we should get a box office smash because, you know, it's the next one in the Ocean series. No, it's not. It's not the next one in the Ocean series. It's a bullshit fucking feminist movie that didn't excite me anywhere near as much. Like, I was on the edge of my seat in Oceans 11, Oceans 12, and Oceans 13. Right? And even in the trailer, I was like, oh man, I gotta see this shit. But when I watched the trailer for Oceans 8, I was like, eh. And it wasn't because they were women. It was because the movie sucked. The movie actually sucked. It was literally just a movie put together so they could put women in that kind of position. Twitch now has a women's month. Oh, for fuck's sake. It's not like Twitch thoughts wouldn't already make 90% of their content. My thoughts about that is, you know, every month's women's month. You know, it's always vagina, you know, more women, hashtag women in tech, hashtag women who code. It's like, if I'm a man who codes and you're a woman who codes, what makes you any better than me? We've all seen the video about the woman who had a tech company that said women don't work as hard as men in IT. She said, I don't even know why. I don't even know why. Right? It's like, I'm a woman. It's not like I'm being sexist. I'm just telling you how it is in my company. And that's that. So, you know, there's a half year pay gap. By the way, guys, I found this killer snippet from a parliamentary response from a woman from the Workplace Gender Equality Agency in Australia, which of course is just basically a bunch of feminists complaining about how they don't get paid as much as men for less work. I found one politician tripping her up, and guys, if you know who that is, don't say it in the comments. I don't want to spoil it for you, but I'm going to be making a video on that very soon, completely destroying the wage gap even so much. And it's not going to be another, oh, you know, women make this choice and women do this and women do that. It's going to be women tripping up on their own shit, right, on video. So look forward to that. What else we got here? A Scotland Flower, trans women will dominate all female sports from now to forever. Yeah, you know what? Feminism is largely underpinned by the Marxist concept that everything is socially constructed, right? Including gender, including physical strength. That's right. If you feminists want a Marxist concept, we'll let you have it. We'll let all the men become trans women and then compete in sports. You're not going to get a single fucking gold medal at the next Olympics, because we're going to wipe you the fuck out and set the bar so high with our new records set by men that sometimes haven't even undergone transition yet, but you know, you've accepted them as women because feelings, right? Because feminists said you have to be nice to everyone, right? Let's see, you reap what you sow. You ask for this shit, we'll give it to you, but don't complain about the outcomes. But of course you will anyway, because you're feminists. Ayahu says, what happened to Karis Mikta? I don't know, man. I don't know. I missed that. I can't, unfortunately I can't follow all the MGTOW channels. I just don't have time. I don't even have time to catch up on all my existing subscriptions, so no chance of me following all. But it'd be very interesting to know what happened to Ikaris. Name Withheld says, hey Sydney, we're fighting feminists on all corners. They're a huge controversy in anime. The left is eating itself, man. The left is eating itself. Because, you know, you've got all these leftist social justice warriors going to work for all the companies that do anime and all this artistic shit because, you know, Bachelor of Arts, right? At university, which is where all this cancer is really coming from. And then everything's going to blow up in their faces and their content's going to suck, and they're going to be like, oh, and then they're going to have to make content that they don't want to make because that they disagree with, because if they don't, then they lose their jobs and they're going to have to learn to code. And none of them want to do that because they just want to keep talking dribble about shit that they know nothing about. Trojan the dog says, equal pay for women's sports. What the fuck, who wants to pay to watch paint dry? Look, you know, I gotta say, I like watching some women's sports. You know, it's more of a more of just light watching than serious sport. And you know, no disrespect to female sportswomen watching this. What it's really all about for me, like the problem I have is, say for example, tennis. Women are like, oh, you know, male players get paid, you know, 60% more than women. It's like, okay, so 60% more is rough. Like, I know my maths may be a little shady on this. I'm still wrecked from working from 8:45 till 3:15 a.m. last night. It's now 5 p.m. I had a little nap, but I've been doing shit during the day. So essentially, if you reduce men's playtime by 40% in a tennis game, right? You reduce the amount of matches they play by 40%. That's how many matches women play. So women can shut the fuck up and take their 40% less pay unless they want to play 5 fucking matches. So women, if you want to play 3 matches, expect to get paid 40% less because you're playing 40% less matches. It's pretty fucking simple. Stop bitching about it. Brian says Alex Jones banned from Australia. He was banned for life. That's fucked. Banned from Spotify, banned from Apple, banned from Google, banned from YouTube. And basically, Alex from InfoWars was banned everywhere because he's got opinions that offend leftists. And that includes Australia, because the Australian government is full of cocks. What do we got next? Chris says, Sydney, I currently live in Ecuador, South American for the last 3 years now. Formerly from Arizona, I've seen some feminism here. The laws for women are the same in the States. I'm cautious though. Oh, that's dangerous. That's real dangerous. You know, but you guys have still got a chance to fight back against this, because you're still, at least in South America, people are quite conservative still. And I know that things are starting to get a bit more feminist, but I mean, like, take for example what happened in Hungary, right? Sorry, Brazil, South America, right? Quite conservative. And they went for like a hard right-wing conservative who went through the institutions with a flamethrower, ripped out all the leftist Marxist propaganda, removed all references to homosexuality, LGBT, equity, diversity from curriculum. Like, teach the kids some fucking maths instead of diversity bullshit, right? Nobody cares if you're black or white, or if you're a dude that wants to fuck dudes, or you're a chick that wants to fuck chicks, or you're a dude that thinks they're a woman, or you're a woman that thinks they're a dude. Let everyone do their own thing, but don't legislate to restrict my personal freedoms, regardless of whether I'm male or female, white or black, regardless, right? Regardless of my religious creed, whatever, right? You don't put restrictions on me to pander to a noisy minority, right? And this is what people are jacking up about. This is why the federal elections coming up for Australia in the middle of this year, I think it's going to be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Nicola Chick says the tuxedo dress is ridiculous. He looked like a fool, but if you say anything negative about it, the left will call you racist. That's right. Well, what if I say that I don't believe in political statements in the fashion world? Still gonna call me a racist? Because it's got nothing to do with black people. It's got everything to do with someone wearing a dress, not because they wear dresses, not because that's their thing, but because they want to make a political statement. So to you, I say, go fuck yourself. Mad MGTOW says, same with New Zealand. It's a Marxist dictatorship here now because you got a feminist prime minister. That's what happens when you put feminists in power that believe in Marxist concepts, right? That everything's a social construct. Shane says, Jordan Peterson's been getting some good press from the ABC. Maybe they know the silent majority likes him. Yep. Helena Hedge Trimming says, Joe Rogan sold out and now he tried to get a hit piece on Alex Jones. That's not good. That's not good. Bill Whitaker. Bettina's old, but I bet she's fun in bed, allegedly, in my opinion. I'm not going to be finding that out for you. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But, Stephanie Summers says, don't even want to see Captain Marvel. I'm going to go see Alita again. Yeah, I don't think anyone wants to see Captain Marvel except a bunch of feminists that want to drag their cuck boyfriends along. And if you are one of those boyfriends that is trying to get pulled along, don't do it. Say no. You know that word? You know the most important word in the English dictionary? No. Say it loud and proud to your girlfriend. And if she doesn't like it, then get rid of her because she's obviously a pain in the ass. And that's not going to last long term for you. Sydney, you're going to see Captain Marvel movie? No! Not going to go see it. Fuck Captain Marvel. Alright, let's skip through. A Scotland Flower said, there's women out there who generally support men. I trust them if they're old. Yeah, if they're old. Hammerhand, what's going on, guys? If you haven't checked out Hammerhand before, he does videos from his car as well, and he's nice and raw and real, and he's sporting a more impressive beard than I am right now, so you should go check him out. Appreciate you, Hammerhand. Tazia Briseno says, I'm at Fort Benning now, I'm in GA. It was a total shithole in 2013 though, and getting worse every year. That's not good. That's not good. I think the pendulum's starting to swing. Trannies are running everywhere in Hollywood. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. 100% agree. And Luminous says, women may be represented more frequently. Quantity doesn't equal quality. That is 100% correct. Tim Paul says they might have shot 2 endings for Endgame in case Captain Marvel bombs. Yeah, well, you might want to use those 2 endings for Endgame. I reckon. What else have we got here? Yeah, Marvel's just gone spastic. Disney's losing the plot. Alexandria Ocasio has ties, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, has ties to George Soros. This ain't good. Yeah, I agree. It's not good at all. It's not good at all. I'm actually going to move to the end of the comments and start moving backwards. Name with Health says, Sydney, would you debate Ben Shapiro? What subject? Look, I'd debate him on something. I wouldn't expect to win. And I guess I would let him choose the topic. I'm a pretty balanced guy. I think Ben and I would probably get along quite well, and it wouldn't be much of a debate because we're probably on the same page each other. What's the name of that? Emma Watson? You know, I would bend her over and cream pie her just to show her what a real man's like. Just to show her what she's missing out on because she's a feminist. To answer your question before, name withheld. So thank you for your donation and your question before. I know I told you I would get back to you on that question. The question was, for those of you who missed it, is if you had to bang a famous celebrity who was a raging feminist, who would it be? So that's the answer to that question. What do we got next? Fantasia Tapuela says, what was your topic for tonight? My topic is, you guys ask me the questions and I answer them. That's my topic for tonight. Vote for Pauline Hanson as senator, says Stingray Sling. Pauline Hanson's got a lot of good ideas. One Nation is really on the money in terms of a balanced approach. I don't agree with all of their policies, but I agree with a lot more of their policies than I do from the other major parties, personally speaking. Name Withheld says, I've been getting into Jordan Peterson. He's pretty smart. I actually went and met him on Tuesday night. It was pretty good. He's even better in person than he is on those shows, because on the shows he just gets attacked by everyone, and he doesn't particularly like it, but he's just got a really good energy and really able to articulate things so well in a live environment where it's just freestyle. What's up, Peppermint Cat's Ass? Peppermint Cat's Ass is a regular donator and a regular subscriber. I just wanted to say appreciate you, Peppermint Cat's Ass. Thank you very much for all of your support over the long period of time that I've now been doing this, since December 2017 roughly. Japan, okay, Cal MGTOW says, Japan's fate depends on America, since feminism agenda in Japan comes from America in the first place. So you know, and I'm not taking sides on this. I think there's pros and cons for this argument, but I know that if you want to become a transgender in Japan, you have to fully transition and you have to be sterilized before they will change it on official documents. So, you know, be interesting to get people's thoughts on that. Yagi Dolly says, good to see your beard growing again nicely. Thank you very much, I appreciate it. And A Scotland Flower, I have seen the viral video game Red Dead Redemption annoying feminists fed to alligator. They were pretty upset about that. Christopher says, has Gary Awesome gone down? I don't know, maybe, can anyone else answer that question? I haven't seen any videos from him in a few days. It wouldn't actually surprise me if that happened at all. Apparently feminism is invading Argentina. Look, I think feminism is going to start to scourge through South America, but hopefully they stay strong and learn from the mistakes of the rest of the world. It is happening in Poland and Hungary as well, that they are saying no to feminism, that they are putting their foot down and getting rid of all the leftist dribble and rubbish and garbage in the education system. So mad respect to them. Thank you for pointing that out, Hammerhand. Deuterium X says, what do you think about child MGTOWs like Igor, who's 12 years old? Man, that Igor MGTOW is well ahead of his time. I'm telling you, he knows what he's talking about. I mean, look, not all of his topics appeal to me because I'm not really that into video games. Not because I don't like video games, I just don't have time for it. So that's why I'm not into video games. But, you know, he's on the money, man. I've seen some videos from Igor, and he's pretty switched on, that kid. So if Igor is watching this, which I know he will because he's one of my subscribers, I appreciate you, Igor. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. And yeah, Bolsonaro, Brazil's new president, is the man MGTOW. Mad MGTOW, 100%. What have we got next? Oh shit, 5-hour interview with Alex Jones on Joe Rogan last week. Man, it's crazy. It's crazy. And Ezra saw the Senate committee where the Polly destroyed feminists on the taxpayer teat regarding the imaginary gender pay gap, was watching a train wreck. That's right, and that's the video I was referring to earlier that I'm going to do a cut on. I found some really cool video editing software when I went to the Microsoft store the other day in the city, and it was like $15 to buy the full license. So I'm actually doing some playing around with that. It's much easier to use for me for what I need than like your Adobes and other, I guess, more detailed and more complex video editing software. Feminists don't talk about, Ralph says, Sydney, why don't feminists talk about the pay gap between a female model and a male model? Women get paid more. Absolutely they do. And feminists don't want to bring that to anyone's attention because then it makes them look like hypocrites, which of course is exactly what they are. It's exactly what they are. Yeah, Bill says women's volleyball is pretty hot. That's what I was saying, man. That's what I was saying. Mr. T says, Mate picked up a cross-dresser one night, was getting a blowjob in the back seat when he decided to cop a feel. The dress fluttered as it went out the door. Wow. Fuck, that sucks. Pubtest says Vic Mignona is suing his Me Too accusers. Interesting. By the way, yeah, maybe I should do a collaboration with Mighty Carmos. That's a good idea. It's a good idea, Placebo Effect. Appreciate that. But yes, on Me Too accusers. So for those of you who know the Bulldogs in Sydney, they're a football team, and there were gang rape allegations, and it's found, oh, surprise, surprise, false accusations. Their lives were ruined. More false accusations. Another day, another false accusation, because no accountability for women. That's why. What else we got here? Silicon Valley was so obsessed with getting a female Steve Jobs, they hyped and believed Elizabeth Holmes and created Theranos and did a $600 million fraud. Wow. I don't know what that's actually all about, but that sounds pretty crazy. Can you imagine if they put a female at the head of Apple? Can you imagine? All right, there goes the feminist narrative that there's a glass ceiling. There it goes. See this window right here? See this window? Goes out the window. And then I close the window back up. Now, I just noticed that someone at House of Invertebrates says, do you watch Isaac Butterfield, the butt man with an amazing beard? I do. I'd actually love to do a collaboration with him. He's killing it. He really is on the money with so many things. Now, I just saw a donation there from Mr. Wright for roughly 20 Australian dollars. Says, don't premature ejaculate. It's only about 15 Aussie dollars. Yes. It says NOK. Is that Norwegian krona? Sorry, I apologize. I don't know my currencies that well. But I appreciate that, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much. Mavis Hill says, what do you think of David Leyenhelm? He's ballsy. That's exactly right. He's very ballsy, and I appreciate it. Commie Hunter says, what's everyone's opinion on Fraser Anning? Look, Fraser Anning is maybe a little rough around the edges. He's got some good ideas. He's also got some not so good ideas if he's wanting to make a big difference, because you have to be very careful about what you say and why you say it. And you also have to be able to back up everything you say with facts and figures, right? You have to leave no stone unturned. You have to put yourself in a position where people can't actually argue with what it is that you have to say. And that's my thoughts on Fraser Anning. Wow. Matthew Rhodes says, Captain Marvel's being monopolized worldwide on opening day by being the only movie playing to boost box office sales and make it seem better than what it is. Wow, if that happens, I'm gonna be blown away. Seriously. If I go, like, I might even, if that happens, I'm actually going to go to a movie theater, and I'm going to ask the staff there, do you think it's, I'm going to come up with a question, and I'm going to ask them, and I'm going to call them out on it. Stephanie says, Bernie's never worked a day in his life, and yeah, well, fucking Bernie Sanders, he's a fucking retard. Ezra said Argentina is getting cucked. Pub Test says, here we go, we've got some clarification on the Gary Awesome situation. And guys, keep dropping your questions. I'm answering questions live in this Q&A Sunday session for you all. Gary Awesome was report attacked by flat earthers and has privated his videos for now. Fuck, that sucks, man. I love Gary Awesome stuff. He's such a cool guy. That's ORSUM. Go check him out for when he puts videos back up. Probably got some guideline strikes and he needs to have expired before he can start posting again. Tazia says, feel the burn in your wallet, 2020. 2 scoops, 2 genders, 2 terms. Deal with it. That's all I got to say about Trump 2020. For now, at least. Making false allegations is perjury, Mad MGTOW, but women get away with it anyway because vagina. And you said, what about the gender prison population gap, the gender suicide gap, the gender deaths at work gap? Ladies, we need more of you in the slammer. It's only fair and equitable. Oh yeah, we need some equity in jails by getting more women in there. Did you see, guys, go and check out my video, search 8%, like 8 and then the percent symbol, 8% women, prison, Sydney MGTOW. You'll find a video I did, and it says 8% of women prisoners, 8% of prisoners are women. That's 8% too many. And this was an opinion piece by the taxpayer-funded SBS in Australia. Absolute garbage. Sunrise says only net taxpayers should vote. Democracy will fail if non-contributors get to vote for more free stuff. That's 100% correct. That is so true. I don't know how they're ever going to impose that though, because they need the single mother vote if they're going to keep having a left-wing faction of the party. Pubtest says Gary did a great anti-flat earth video last week. Check out his BitChute channel. Cool. So if you want to check that out, you can. That's why Gary is not around right now. He's privated his videos. Heavy Metal Thunder says, hey Sydney, I've been watching your videos since the Mayhem Bialik video. I'm from Canada. Why do women put so much value on Valentine's Day? If women want romance on that day, why can't they plan something? Look, you got to remember that even from when they were little girls, that their father or their uncle or even their mum posing as a guy has sent them Valentine's Day cards to make them feel amazing on Valentine's Day, so they don't feel left out, so they feel included, so that they feel validated. And then if they don't get that, then they get upset because it's like, well, people don't care about me anymore. It's like, well, people care about you, just there's no need to go retarded on Valentine's Day. So that's why. And if they want romance on Valentine's Day, why can't they plan something? Because look, they want masculine men. They want men that make decisions. They want men that are no bullshit. I don't know a woman in history who says, oh, who is like on the fence about something. They might say, oh, I don't know if I should get this or not. And they want a man who'll say, you can have it next time, or let's get it now. They want a man to make that decision, right? They don't even mean to shit test you in those moments, but when you pass the shit test, it makes them so happy, right? This is just human nature, really. Valentine's Day is for suckers, man. Don't celebrate it at all, says Stephanie Summer. I agree. I agree. And Yagya Dolly says, removing the don't want to watch option was a stupid move by Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes is losing all credibility, full of SJW retards. Mavis Hill just dropped a $10 donation. I appreciate you, Mavis Hill. It says, watch Alita Battle Angel on the day Captain Marvel releases. It's still female power, but true to original anime and not preachy. I liked it. I might just do that, Mavis Hill. I might just do that. I appreciate the tip, man. You know, and I'm cool with female leads in movies as long as it's a great movie, as long as it's not just feminist bullshit propaganda. Deuterium X says, are you a monk? Do you practice no fap by prostitutes? No prostitutes. I very rarely fap. Occasionally. You know, I think it's, if you were to never ever fap in your whole life, I don't think there's too many guys that can say that, you know. So that's my position on that. I would prefer to, if I'm gonna go putting my dick in something other than my hand, it's gonna be a woman, but not a prostitute. I won't pay for it, refuse to. You know, as Austin Powers once said, I also like to live dangerously. Socrates said about 2,400 years ago, democracy eventually fails after a couple of centuries because people realize they can vote themselves shit beyond what they can afford. Well, yeah, that's if you allow non-net taxpayers to vote, which I think removing non-net taxpayers from the voting pool is probably a good idea. But see, then again, I've got some followers, including one of my mods actually, who's you know, got a disability, and I think people genuinely need support when they have things outside of their control, and this is why we need a social security system. But I think it is widely abused. So, you know, that's my thoughts on the matter. Gato Villano says, about the question you got about which femtard you would cream pie. Go full out depraved, man. Go for Big Red. Think of that goddamn irritating voice. Oh yeah, but then I'd be like, I would flop before I got anywhere near those stench-ridden flaps of Big Red. Don Smith says, what happened to the guy saying he was MGTOW with the Asian wife that was cheating in Australia? I thought he was setting up an insanity defense. I didn't hear about that one. That's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. Completely no FAP increases the risk of prostate cancer. That's my excuse. Nice one, Bill. SK Live says, I plan to vote again as soon as Captain Marvel comes out. Fantasia Tapola says, God bless you, Sydney Laters. God bless you too, Fantasia. See you soon. Sorry. Fatadia, sorry, I apologize. Hopefully that was the correct pronunciation. I'll catch you later. Black Phillip. Oh, great question from Black Phillip. Do you think society understands women's needs more than men's needs? Yes. That's my answer. And I'll tell you why I think that they understand women's needs more than men's needs. Because women's needs are allowed to be heard. Right? It's legislated that women's needs are to be heard. It's not legislated that men's needs are to be heard. And for those of you who watched Q&A with Jordan Peterson on Monday night, you would have seen exactly what went on. There was actually a guy in the audience who spoke up and said, well, you know, the majority of men aren't getting even shared custody. Like, there's so many guys, men that are just not even getting shared custody with their kids. They're having their kids withheld from them. And then that fucking fat cunt Van Batten went on a feminazi rant about the oppression of women and how women this, and, you know, I think we're missing the big picture here. I think we're missing the whole point. It's like, no, we're not missing the point, Van. You're missing the point. You're missing the point that this kid telling you that whenever men have an issue and speak up about it, feminists is just like, we can't talk about men's issues because women, we need to talk about women's issues. Right, and that's exactly what she did. She literally completely proved his point on the spot. And so did Terry Butler, by the way, the Labour PM. Complete setup, that panel, by the way. Damn, I'm starting to get some form going on there. Holy shit. Yahoo says, Hollywood movies suck now. The quality of these movies has gone south. 100%, in my personal opinion, has gone south. Oh, Bill says that Rotten Tomatoes have restored want to see for Captain Marvel, but are only showing positive votes. Of course they are. Bunch of feminists. MGTOW Bachelor from New Zealand with his $2 donation. I appreciate you, MGTOW Bachelor. If you got a question, brother, please drop it here and I'd be happy to answer it for you in appreciation of your super chat there. And he said, hello, Sydney. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. And thanks for being a long-time subscriber and supporter as well, by the way. Trojan Dog says, there is a woman's legal service. No chance of that for men. Exactly. Like, this is the point, right? There's no women, there's no men's legal service, but there's women's aid, there's women's legal services, there's women's domestic violence advocacy services, which have a bunch of women lawyers paid for by the government to teach women how to get money from men and how to keep men away from their kids. Illegally, but with no accountability. Name withheld says, one of my friends has full custody, but that was only after years of court cases. Putting her daughter at risk for so long is horrible. Yeah, it is horrible, but unfortunately that's the gonocracy in which we live. What else have we got here? Guys, keep coming with the questions. Oh, MGTOW Bachelor, man. I'm gonna make this question worth your while, brother. Give me 1 second though. Oh, A Scotland Flower says, have you seen Meghan Markle planning to raise a gender fluid prince? Princess Harry might commit suicide. Yeah. Watch what happens. Right? He's gonna get completely cucked and emasculated. She is using this position in the royal family to push the feminist agenda. She openly said that she's openly talked about being a feminist. She's openly said she's going to use her position in the royal family to, you know, talk about feminism and bring light to feminist issues. She's just a feminazi. And if you guys, do you remember when he first got with her? See them everywhere, they're like both smiling and happy all the time. Go and look at some recent news about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. See, spot the smile from Prince Harry. She's smiling. She's smiling. She's raising a gender fluid baby. She's getting all this money. She's flying around the world on private jets. To be fair, not at the government expense, but with celebrity friends, because she used to star in Suits and slap men around in the series. But yeah, she's basically getting everything she wanted, right? And he's getting nothing that he wanted. What do I think about Ida Buttrose now chairing the ABC? Sunrise, look, it's got to be better than Michelle Guthrie. That's my thought. And Bender said something before and then corrected it to Terrence Popp. Just trying to find what it was. Big fan of Terrence Popp, by the way. Terrence Popp's a cool guy. Meetup Bachelor says, I see women must be 50% of management in New Zealand by 2025 or companies will be fined. Yes, this is what the feminist government run by Jacinta Ardern, who is openly feminist and Marxist in her views. She's pushing for this. And, you know, you watch what happens. Companies are going to start moving out of New Zealand. Let's see her pay for all her free shit then. Let's see her pay for all of this free shit for women then. Then she's going to come after men. And men are going to vote her out. And if they don't, then they will soon, when the women that care about men that get fucked over start to get affected by it. What goes around comes around, in my personal opinion. I think sadly, Tarzia, particularly in the cities, percentage of Australian women that are traditional and conservatives is quite small. In country towns, you'll find they tend to be a lot less liberal, a lot more family oriented, a lot more conservative, which is a good thing. Yagya says, my buddy got divorced, the ex-wife got the house and daughter, but she doesn't spend all the child support on his daughter. She also demands more every year. And of course, why am I not surprised? Why am I not even remotely surprised? Trojan the dog says, New Zealand businesses should just pay the fine, they'll still be better off. Well, it depends how big the fine is. If the fine's like $1.5 million and the business only makes a net profit that year of $1 million, it's a bit of a problem. You know, really, the companies that are not making stupid amounts of money are going to be stuck between a rock and a hard place with that legislation, in my personal opinion. Chris says, I think a live stream with Terrence Popp and Sydney would be fantastic. Man, he's actually emailed me before about that, and we've had dialogue, so I'm going to get back in touch with him because I think that's something that needs to happen real soon. Tarzia says Prince Harry could have any piece he wanted. Now he's just a beta burger with a side of French fries. Yeah, 100%. 100%. SK Life says, who's your favorite MGTOW comedian? Mine is Bill Burr. And also mine. He is a gun. Knows how to take them down, and he's not tolerating the bullshit. Name withheld says, women in offices cause huge divisions. I've seen it and heard a story of women fighting over purses. Name withheld. I think you should go and watch my video. Catfights and crying at an all-female workplace. You will love it. Because I did a story on exactly that phenomenon. And it's so true. It's 100% correct. What do we got next here? Commie Hunter says, I live in regional and it's all drugs and crime. Well, yeah. I mean, look, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there, because the resources are being directed to the cities where the majority of voters are, because people want to stay in power. It's all a power game. All a power game. I think until we start to get into power like One Nation or someone that actually cares about regional Australia as well as the city areas, that we're going to start to address these problems. Placebo Effect says, have you ever seen a Tasmanian devil? Yes, I have. I haven't seen them in the wild. I've seen them in a zoo, or like a nature park, and you know, they're feisty little buggers, that is for sure. I've seen them crunching through steak and bones like it's just fucking biscuits. Their jaws are so strong. It's insane. Keith D says, take women's voting rights away now. Well, they're not the net taxpayers, and I think that net taxpayers should be the ones that get to make the decisions about how taxes get spent by the government that they vote in. So put 2 and 2 together. And you know, female taxpayers who are net taxpayers should be allowed to vote. I can respect that. But if they're not net taxpayers, then they shouldn't be allowed to vote. But then again, a lot of the ones that would be net taxpayers would be feminists. So maybe that's counterintuitive. I don't know. There's no clear-cut, viable solution in my personal view. We've just got to, you know, see how it all turns out in the end. Fingers crossed it doesn't turn out too badly. Butte Ween says, grow the beard, support masculine. That's exactly what I've been doing. It's looking good, I gotta say. Madman says, if I as a man working in a company identify as a woman, does that count towards the 50% female requirement? I believe it would if they register you as a female employee, because they would then report that to the Workplace Gender Equality Agency, who would have that included. So all of us guys should just identify as women on our company paperwork, and we'd actually flip the wage gap. So men would then earn less, and women would be earning more. What are the feminists going to say then? Then they're going to blame it on men anyway, that women are earning more. We can't win. They're idiots. Yeah, women and fighting at work situation. Throw in a handbag from Prada and watch the fireworks fly, says Chris Andrew. Man, Chris Andrew, you send 2 women to work wearing the same dress, wearing the same outfit, watch what happens. Watch the shitstorm. Right? Man, if I go to work and there's another dude wearing the same outfit, I'll be like, bro, look, good taste, right? Birds of a feather, you know what I mean? Great minds think alike. That's the kind of talk we'll be having around the office. Instead of bitching and crying, complaining, and, oh, you need to take that off because, you know, I got this first, and having a big sook about it. A Scotland Flower says, have you ever had a dangerous encounter with one of the millions of poisonous Australian species, excluding feminists? I have actually had a few dangerous encounters. Almost been bitten by a redback spider, and I almost stepped on a king brown snake, which is about 6 or 7 foot long, when I was golfing with my dad as a kid. And he beat the shit out of it with a golf club because, you know, my dad's a fucking boss. That's why. Is all of Australia as beautiful as the National Geographic makes it look? Brian, obviously, like, there's some parts which are not going to be as exciting as National Geo, but Australia is a fucking beautiful country, man. If you ever get the chance to travel in Australia and like get a camper van, just travel around, highly recommend you do it. By the way, guys, smash that thumbs up. This is a Sunday session Q&A, and ask any questions you like and I will answer it. Priority given to super chats questions. So if you are going to super chat, make sure you drop me a question so that you get your money's worth. I appreciate you in advance. Name withheld says Caitlin Bennett is cutie. Thoughts? Yeah, I think she's kind of cute. She's kind of cute. Pity she's a feminist, but she's kind of cute. And let me MGTOW Bachelor, another $2 donation. I appreciate you, man. Hey, come on, MGTOW Bachelor. You got some questions for me? I know you do. I'll be happy to answer them for you with the donation, which you've already given me. Brian says, Marcus, women want spend 60% of all wealth. They don't have 60% of all wealth. They actually do have 60% of the wealth. Sorry to say, they just didn't earn it. They actually do have that much wealth. Any good Australian music bands you would suggest, Sydney? Yahoo. Sorry, I don't really follow the scene enough to be able to make a comment on that, so I do apologize. The actor who played the serial killer in Wolf Creek got Me Too'd. Yeah, who hasn't been Me Too'd in some way these days that has a penis? It's crazy. Are koalas dangerous? They're actually not dangerous, but the only way in which koalas are really dangerous is their claws are very, very sharp. So you do not want to get koala claws dug in, because they will rip the fuck out of your arms or any other part of your body that they grapple onto. If you were to try and pick one up and they start stressing out, like, you're pretty much going to end up looking like you've been through a paper shredder. So yeah, only do it with tame ones that have been, you know, raised by zookeepers. Yeah, don't pick up wild koalas, I guess, would be my words of wisdom. Butte Ren says, what are your thoughts on MGTOW community's backlash against other former MGTOWs? Look, I think fundamentally, if going your own way is exactly that, going your own way. And if you've chosen to go back to the plantation, then I say, I respect your choice to go back to the plantation, but don't expect me to go back to the plantation with you, right? And if you're going to go back to the plantation and start being a simp and start chasing after women and start seeking validation, then you're not really going your own way. You're going the way of the that you are succumbing to and acquiescing to. What do I think of the coming social credit system, Sydney, says Chrome Dome Omega? Well, I know they've already implemented it in China, and it's very dangerous. People can't even travel if they haven't earned enough social credit points to have the Chinese government allow them to do what they want them to do. And also the Chinese government's put out an app where you can actually see people nearby you that owe money, and you can actually report those people, like go and actually accost those people, and you get rewarded by the government, so you get social credit points. So the government's turning people against each other. It's really, really dangerous. Really dangerous. And Name Withheld says that he's stayed in a motel in Texas, found out the walls had a scorpion nest. Yeah, I've almost gotten bitten by a scorpion before. Almost gotten bitten by a scorpion. Brian Barney says, Sydney, did you hear YouTube is withholding Hammerhand's live chat funds for months now? Hammerhand would need to have monetization enabled if she... Hammerhand, if you're watching this right now, flick me an email about YouTube withholding your funds. It could be just a little technicality. I might be able to help you out with that. I haven't seen Tommy Robinson's Panodrama video just yet. And guys, I intentionally charged my phone fully for this live stream. I've got about 10% left. So when the live stream's done, the live stream's done. It will probably beep at me that it's low battery, and I'll cut it there. But thank you so much for all joining in. I'm going to keep going until that time comes. And Sydney, if you had 27 types of AIDS and stage 4 cancer, who would you bang for mankind? Well, that depends on why I'm banging them. Am I banging them to dominate them? Am I banging them to just get my rocks off? Am I banging them for taking one for the team? Am I banging them to make them, you know, to enjoy the last bang of my life? Bill Whitaker says, I've heard koalas are endangered from a strain of gonorrhea. That I believe that can happen. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to look on that. MGTOW Bachelor says, what's the best place for a MGTOW to go on a holiday in Aussie? So Coffs Harbour is actually really nice. Miggy 101's just been there. Coffs Harbour is a really, really nice place to go. Really nice. And lots of places in Queensland. I'm actually gonna be I might actually start putting some places together and have that as on my website as some suggested places for people to visit. See how I go. YouTube is purposefully unsubscribing people, says Name Withheld. That is correct. And Steve-O from somewhere says Cold Chisel isn't a good Australian band. I agree. Cold Chisel and AC/DC are both badass, in my opinion. And the Skyhawks, says Ruby Vadilla. Skyhawks is pretty good too. I have not seen the Tommy Robinson Panodrama video in response to Keith D. Thomas Carter, have I seriously thought about moving to another country that's got a much smaller feminist footprint? I have. I'm in the US. I've thought about it. Who knows what will happen in the future? who knows where I will be, where I will go, what I will do. Have I ever driven to Perth or Darwin? Not driven to either of those places, placebo effect, but I would love to drive all around Australia, maybe even get a camper and just, you know, do a mad trip. Do a mad trip. Ace Ventura says no internet drama, please. Rest assured, Ace Ventura, I will be staying out of the internet dramas. I am my own man. I do my own thing. I talk about my own topics, and I bring you guys what you ask of me. And, you know, hopefully you continue to enjoy my content. What else have we got next? MTL, Sydney, aren't you afraid of getting doxxed? I don't think showing your face was a good idea, although I appreciate the content. Look, MTL, I appreciate your concern, and I honestly am not afraid of being doxxed. I've come across people that have seen me on my channel, and they happen to be two people sitting beside me at the Jordan Peterson live event for the VIPs. So, you know, I don't really care. If someone comes up to me in the street and goes, "You're a fucking misogynist," I'll go, "Yeah, well, clearly you're a feminist if you think I'm a misogynist. What would you like to debate with me about? Let's gather a group of people around and see how retarded you look at the end of it." You know, I've got, look, you know, I don't want to talk about my balls too much, but I've got fucking gigantic balls when it comes to people. I've got gigantic balls when it comes to people, you know, debating. Sorry, there's just a council worker pulled up and was like, got some little sheet she's put on my windscreen. I don't know what it's about. I'll read it afterwards. But yeah, look, I don't care if people see my face, because there's going to come a point in time where I'm going to be speaking to large crowds about reclaiming our Australia. Right? About being proud of being masculine, about taking responsibility and accountability. And I don't care how many people hate me, because this is a message that needs to get out there. And we know that showing your face gives you massive credibility. And I didn't show my face for credibility. I showed my face because I didn't know how to edit videos in the beginning, and I just wanted to rant. I didn't think anyone would listen to what I was saying. But turns out they do listen to what I say. And turns out there's people who actually need me more than I think. So I'm going to continue to do what I do. And I don't care if I get doxxed, because I'm not going to be like, yeah, there's the plantation where you are dating women, but there's also the plantation where you work for corporate. There's the plantation where you work for places like Google and Facebook. There's the plantation where you work for cucked Australian government services, right, where it's all run by feminazis. And I will not be part of that matrix. I will not be part of that system. I will make my own money, my own way. I will build my own business, right? And I will get customers that resonate with the type of message that I put out there. I will get customers that like what I have to say, not customers who disagree. And you know what? Fuck all the haters. They can leave negative reviews, because word of mouth is more powerful than some social justice warriors leaving a few negative stars on a business. I don't even need to put reviews up if I start a business, right? I don't even need stars. I don't even need reviews. All I need is to give the service that I give, and people will continue to come to me, and the word of mouth will build my business for me. Simple. So I hope that answers your question, MTL MGTOW. What is the ethics demographic of women in Australia, says Don Smith? I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. What happened to Chris Cantu? He got zucked by YouTube and demonetized. I don't know anything past that. I haven't really had a chance to catch up on what's going on with him, but I will check that out, because, you know, Chris Cantu is one of the guys who actually inspired me to show my face on YouTube. So you wouldn't be seeing this right now if it wasn't for Chris Cantu, whether you like him or not. So at least credit where credit is due. Have I ever boxed a kangaroo? No, but I have rugby tackled an ostrich. What's a wigwag? Thank you very much for that $10 donation, by the way. He says, hey partner, have you heard Kevin Fowler's song Beach, Please? No, but I'm going to check that out, and I might even do a separate video on that in appreciation for that donation. Thank you very much for bringing that to my attention. What's a wigwag? I will get onto that and do that in the next couple of days for you. what else have we got here? So guys, just to let you know, I'm down to 5% battery, so I'm going to go in the next two minutes or so. Deuterium says, because you show your face, don't you have troubles in your private and laboral lives? No, fuck no. Man, I meet people in the street and they subscribe to my channel after I tell them what I'm all about. I have friends that watch me all the time. There's no issue for me. Yeah, I lost my job that I had at the time because they disagreed with my opinion, but I'm glad because it allowed me to focus on doing this more. It allowed me to have the freedom to say what I want to say without fear of retribution. And I just got another donation from MGTOW Bachelor for $2. Appreciate you, brother. Yagya has advised his 11-year-old son to go MGTOW. Good idea. Madman says, about a business, a Red Pill sports bar. I've actually thought about some men's only venues, and I don't care what feminists say about it. They can screech, and I'll tell them to I'll say, hey, you know that Lyceum club you've got? You know those Fernwood fitness clubs? You know those Curves women fitness clubs? Open the doors of all of those to men, or fuck off. That's what I'm gonna say. And I'll do it in a live interview on mainstream media, right? Because I don't give a shit. Because men are gonna come flocking to that club when they see that's run by a fucking alpha male who won't take any bullshit from feminists. So that's what I've got to say about that. Guys, I think the longest live stream I've done so far, Nightstone, was about an hour and a half from memory. It was quite a while ago though. Appreciate all the love from you guys. And Brizzy Boy says, are you still using your MGTOW mug at work? The same MGTOW mug that Brizzy Boy has, the same one that you can buy from MGTOWmerch.com. Yes, absolutely. I'm still using my MGTOW mug at work every single day. And Chrome Dome says, you know there's Boy Scouts that are girls only now? Yeah. So the girls were like, oh, Boy Scouts excludes women, so we need to allow girls in. So Boy Scouts allowed girls, and then girls created a little troop that excludes boys from a troop in Boy Scouts Australia. Right? Feminism is not about control, right? No, not at all. Guys, I've got like 1% battery left, and I want to close this off. So I just want to say how much I appreciate all of you. Make sure you smash that thumbs up. Thank you to all of you that have brought the amazing questions. Thank you to all of you that have dropped the super chats in this live stream. I'm looking forward to doing these maybe once a month, these Sunday sessions. Just sitting with you guys and chilling and answering questions. If you want to donate, check in the